Here is this Katz for real, and Kat is having his first jump school out in my field. This is from Saturday, so I'm making this video on Sunday, but this ride was from Saturday, September 20th. And I'd actually ridden him out in the field the day before on the Friday, and so he'd gotten to sort of walk around, get a feel for the traffic. We'd walked over some of the logs and stuff, so he'd already been out here once before, which is always kind of nice, and it just makes it easier to come out and just get right to work. So, kind of the way I always do, we start by warming up, just walking over some of the stuff, making sure that he finds it cool, calm, and easy, not stressful in any way. And he came out with a great walk. I mean, I just love how he's sort of like confidently sauntering around the field. He's not finding anything that we're doing anxious, and he just looks like a cool, happy customer. This was from Saturday morning. And sometimes I like to do these field rides on the weekends more because you have less of the sort of commercial traffic going by. Like there's less dump trailers and tractor trailers and all that stuff. But for whatever reason, there was just so much regular traffic going by that morning. So I actually felt like it did no use weekend to non weekend. But he was very good about the traffic and was extremely non reactive about it. So I think here's when he has his one drive by of the whole school. And I left it in the video because I think it's educational and these things happen with young horses. And I simply just didn't quite have his left shoulder. And there was actually traffic, oncoming traffic coming towards him as we were going to that log. And it's just the second log he jumped. And I actually think that that just had him a little distracted and probably a little bit tense, sort of eyeing up this traffic that's coming head on towards us as he's going to that log. And so I think that's why I lost the shoulder and we had the drive by. It was more so, I think, out of a distraction from the oncoming traffic. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They're babies, they're going to make mistakes. And so I don't like to make a big fuss about that stuff. You know, that's normal. I always expect those things to happen. And so I'm certainly not going to create drama where drama is not necessary. So I just like to turn them around. I really like to reapproach in the walk when something like that happens so that I can be absolutely 100% certain that I have them straight and perpendicular to the jump. I feel like really have their shoulders under control. And then I just like to pop them into a trot a couple steps out so we can get placed right where I want to be to the log. And that worked great. And then, we reapproached and he jumped it just perfectly lovely. And then again, they're really cute. It's pretty rare that I ever really carry a stick when I'm jumping these guys. I just find it distracting. I don't want to use it. I feel like if I need to be jumping these guys with a stick, then probably shouldn't really be jumping them yet. I mean, these are all things that they should just be able to really easily walk over, and I don't want to create tension or anxiety. Now, of course, there's moments when, you need a stick, and I'm not saying that you should never ride with a stick. I personally am more comfortable starting my baby horses over jumps without a stick. I just feel like my hands are freer. I actually ride a little bit more confidently and intuitively, and it's just a little bit more empathetic. It's not like at this stage of the game, horses are never choosing to be naughty anyway, but they're just it's just so raw, and in my experience, they try so hard that if you just give them the moment, like when he had the little bit of lack of straightness here, but nevertheless, I think we turn around at some point here and do it back the other way, and it's much straighter. But anyway, I find that if you give them the opportunity to make a mistake and come back and represent it well, that 99 out of 100 times they want to make the right decision. They want to do what you're asking them to do. So I thought he was really cute down that line of logs along the road. The jumping itself was very cute. A little bit of a lack of straightness between the logs, but that's okay. We come back around and do it again, and it's much improved. I think we're going to come back to it now. Much straighter the second time. You know, they just don't know. You have to really be just so clear. You have to spell it out so much more clearly and slowly than sometimes I even remember to do. That was really cute. It was very straight to the middle of every single jump. He stayed on his lines much better. And so at this point, I was feeling like, okay, we're rocking and rolling. This feels really confident and just, it feels good. And that was really cute too. All right, so then we sort of come the long way all the way around the field. And then introduce a couple more jumps. So again, here I'm just getting my turn. I'm getting straight through the walk to make sure that I can really get in place where I want him. And then we left out a step there, but that's okay. These are the mistakes you have to make when you're a baby horse. So now we're gonna reapproach that log and hope to put in that last step. But of course, that is entirely up to him. I will say that what he's really good about is when he does make those, baby mistakes, those learning moments where he leaves out a step here and there, he really doesn't scare himself when he does that. He tends to just come right back around and make the better choice. Like right there, that was just brilliant. Brilliant little baby horse. Really cute to that one. Landing in a nice canter. Having a nice balanced canter down the downhill slope part of my field. And then this canter felt nice, so I just thought, I'm always sort of gently encouraging them to come in the canter when possible. Almost lost that right shoulder there, but he was a good boy and he kept it in line and actually had a really confident jump over that black pipe. And then I sort of took the roundabout tour all the way around the field again here. So cute. I love that he's not over jumping. He realizes that's just basically a raised ground pole, and so he is not putting in more effort than is needed. So I think now we're going to introduce the bigger version of those black pipes. And that was very brave. And then I've got another one here up at the top of the hill. And then that was even better. The first one he jumped with a little bit of pizzazz. I wouldn't say he over jumped it, but just a little bit more of a effort possibly than was needed. But I mean, just super brave and straight and just absolutely adorable. And then the second one, he jumped like he'd done it. I'd done it a bunch of times before. It was really good. So now I'm going to come back and do those same bigger pipes back the other direction. And that was really good. He's feeling very straight now, much straighter than the first time we came down this line of logs. Again, that was really lovely. Nice balance, nice form, right to the base, super straight. All the things I would like my baby horses to be doing. Well, all my horses for that matter, not even just baby horses. All right, so grand finale now. We're just going to jump our little coop here in the corner, and then that was very good. And I will say by now, like he looks a little tired to me here. He was feeling tired to me. I knew it was time to wrap things up. But he was very brilliant, and he did absolutely everything I asked him to do. And then that was a really lovely, lovely jump. Good form. He was a really good boy. I really couldn't have been prouder of him. He did absolutely everything I asked him to do. He did it with good form, a good attitude. He was excellent.